How's everybody doing? And thanks for tuning in to Wicked Warnings, your number one source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, tricycles, and this beloved 3/4 ton GMC Sierra. We're getting a whole lot of interest, a whole lot of emails about the GM products, the Silverado and the Sierra in the 3/4 ton series, the 2500, 3500s with the refresh design, the new headlights like what you're seeing here. So here we have a Sierra. This is a 2500 GMC 2024. What it's running is the white DRL auto flasher plug and play kit that's going to plug in right behind the headlights and run to your switch of choice, whether you have the factory one or an aftermarket one. That's a super easy install. You're going to cut no factory wires at all. Plug and play behind the headlight. Now that kit is available in what you see here, white or amber. This truck was built to spec with communication of the owner, so this is exactly what he wanted. We've also added below that in the grille a pair of our LIN6, our LIN 6 lights in only amber. This is a very robust, solid, all amber light that complements the white of the headlights. Above that, we have our auto flasher kit on the 3-piece roof light. That's a super easy install right underneath the driver's side grab handle on the trim beside the windshield. Installs very quickly. Here's a little off-axis shot of the front end for you and our next project, currently working on this. So if you're a fan of the Ford Lightning, stay tuned for that. Back to the GMC. As you can see, them headlights, they kind of have a wraparound design from the factory, so they're going to do a lot for side warning just as they are. And again, we have that kit available, plug and play in either white or amber. You can't use both. The computer system on the truck does not allow both because the turn signal overtakes the DRL, so it won't flash both. So pick your color, white or amber, and both kits are on wickedwarnings.com right now. And wrapping around back, we had to put a fuel pump in here and a toolbox because this truck does real work. And above that, we have our cargo light flasher as well. That's our auto flasher module, flashing the factory cargo light, and that is accessed right underneath the grab handle on the passenger side of the windshield on that side trim. And again, very easy installation. Below that, you can see the factory reverse lights flashing with our plug and play auto flasher. Now this is different. There is a difference between the 1500 and the 2500 as far as the reverse lights are concerned, and or the tail lights. We're not flashing the red tails on this, but there is going to be a kit to allow you to flash the red tails, and there's also a kit to allow you to flash both if you want red and white warning for possibly some EMS work. What you see here though is a base model truck which came factory with incandescent bulbs. I made a short video of it working with our kit with the incandescent bulbs just to show how versatile our kit is now on these newer GM trucks. If you have a Silverado or a Sierra with the incandescent reverse bulbs, you don't need to swap to LED. We did on this one with just a simple bulb swap. It's just a T15 bulb, very easy to find locally. You can get them at Napa. And this is just a white bulb swap, which gives them a little crisper flash. And he can still use our plug and play unit. Now these taillights are not very friendly to drill a hideaway in. Even though they're base model bulb taillights, I didn't really find a good spot to drilling in a standard hideaway. That's why we used our kit, which is plug and play, to manipulate factory wiring to allow us to flash those reverse lights. Now, the kit can also be wired with the override if you like to have reverse override flashing. We didn't wire in that feature. It's the flood feature. You could also put that on a secondary switch if you wanted to use the reverse lights as work lights in a gear outside of reverse. So the kit's very versatile. Below that is our Thin X Amber LED. Another light we have available in amber and white or just amber. Very similar to the light we used up front, but a little bit wider and a lot lower profile. That is specifically fired sideways because when you're backing out in traffic with a working truck, especially a snowplow, you need that side warning. So this is exactly what the customer was asking for, and it reflects all over that step, so it really does give warning in all direction. You can see here, even behind the truck, you definitely still see the amber. It's on a little bit of an angle, so you can really catch it with your eye, even all the way as far as straight back 90 degrees. So you can also see we went with the standard default pattern on our auto flasher for those reverse lights. That's the pattern that it's going to come with out of the box. There's many other patterns if you'd like something different, like the pattern we used on the cargo light above that. That's another pattern in our pattern list. So you have the option to change to whatever pattern flashing style you like and create a unique build of your own. That's another beauty of our auto flasher module kits, is that each one is selectable for its own flash pattern. So you don't need to have the same pattern across the whole truck. You can actually make a unique design with varying patterns that's more effective. I've shown this in a couple of our other videos, but in these newer trucks, you either have the auxiliary switch kit under the radio or you don't. It's very easy to tell if you have it because it's marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 individual switches and they're marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you don't have that under here, then you don't have auxiliary switches and you'll probably end up doing something like this. This is a great location to put in one of our 3/4 flush mount switches like that full illumination red one you see there. And as I take you underneath the dashboard here, you can see a standard spot for drilling a hole if you want to pass a lot of wiring through. Of course, we're going to put that carpet back up in there so we don't get a draft. And that is where we permeate the firewall. You could also go through the factory boot over here if you want, or whatever suits your needs. Now that switch is easy for power location because right underneath it here you have a fuse box with a couple of spare pins in it that are battery powered. If you wanted, you can go to the other side of the dashboard to get your ignition power. So you don't need to run all the way back to the battery if you don't want, especially with a super light LED load like this. This whole system runs about 3 amps total, so it really is a very minimal power draw at all. All right, so let's talk about what you're going to get in this kit anyways, because if you like everything you see and you just want to do the same job exactly like this, listen here, because this is what's going to be included in the kit. If you want to modify it, go ahead and modify it. But we're going to sell it just like you see it right now. We're going to sell it right here. Cargo auto flasher kit. It's going to come with everything you need. So it's all in a bag. It's ready to go. Reverse plug and play auto flasher kit. It's going to come with everything you need. It's in a bag. It's good to go. You're responsible for the bulbs. We are not supplying the bulb swap. If you want a bulb swap, head on down to AutoZone or Napa and pick up some T15 LED bulbs. So below that, 2 amber Thin X. We're also going to put in a 30-foot piece of 18.5. That's going to go from the passenger Thin X right across the bumper to the driver's Thin X, and then straight on forward with the 18.5 for the reverse auto flasher kit. Both of those are going to run forward along the frame and pop into the driver footwell area through the rubber grommet that the emergency brake cable goes through. Very easy to use our wire insertion tool to pop through that rubber grommet boot and bring both of those 18.5s up into the cabin of the truck right below the switch by the driver's left foot. Around the front of the truck, roof auto flasher kit. It's going to come with everything you need in a bag, ready to go. Headlight, plug and play, DRL auto flasher kit. It's going to come with everything ready to rock. Below that, we have 2 LIN6 in all amber, as well as 2 90-degree brackets. And I'll shut the lights off and show you how we mounted that after we're done talking. I'm going to throw you another 30-foot piece of 18.5 for those front 2 LIN 6. And the way I wired them was I extended the passenger one by about 6 to 8 feet with 18.5 and extended the driver one about 4 feet with 18.5. I brought that joint up to the driver's fender area. At that point, you can set patterns individually, synchronize the lights, choose, join up your power and your ground with the remaining 18.5 and carry it into the truck. Now, I left a little bit of extra on each one of those lights right behind the grill in case the grill needed to be removed. I didn't want to put a connector on each light and never use it, so we just leave about 22 or 24 inches of wire coiled up behind the grill. So if you did need to take the whole grill out for some kind of service work or remove a headlight, etc., you could take it out and set it down in front of the bumper or set it up on the engine with the extra engine wire slack and not actually cut any wiring. So that's far easier than trying to get specialized crimpers to put in Deutsch connectors on every single light. And I know you guys at home don't have those crimpers. So you can make the connections with our uninsulated connectors and heat shrink and leave a little slack for the body man that might need to adjust the front, and that's how you're good to go. Of course, headlights are plug and play if they do need to remove the kit for whatever reason. So we showed you where to come through the firewall. We're going to include a 3/4 grommet in this kit as well. We're going to include a fuse kit as well because right behind here is your fuse panel where we pop that fuse kit in to feed that switch. And there's a ground stud right here behind the kick panel as well for all your grounding needs, and take all of your main ground wires there, pop another ground wire up to the switch, and that's fairly easy to do that. So that's everything that's included in this kit. We're going to give you an accessory kit as well. Going to have some tape and some connectors, some heat shrink, and some other random stuff. But do shop around, make sure that you have everything that you need for your install. Do take a good look at everything in the kit and make sure that you like it and understand it before ordering. Here is how we mounted that Lin 6 in the grill right there. It's a snug fit, but it's a flush fit. I really like it. You could even tint that light if you wanted it to disappear a little more. And I mean, hell, you could even paint that bracket black too if you wanted to go the final step, tape off this chrome and paint the bracket. This particular install, I don't know if I'd go that far, but I like it. It works very well. And as far as where the wiring is ran, what we did, and you can do whatever you like, it's right there. We were able to pop a hole through both layers of the outer edge of the active shutters without interfering with anything or damaging anything. The wiring comes from the light back and down. That'll avoid, I like to bring the wiring down because if you bring the wiring up, of course, water wicks down the wire into the back of the light. So by bringing the wiring down, then you don't get as much water intrusion. And we took the wiring right into the engine bay through there. Now we use a little fish tape to slide through there. Basically, it's just a long zip tie. And that worked out fairly easy for us. And that's where that hole is right there. We kept it kind of tucked up behind the grill so you don't see it. That's why we drilled it like that, kind of on an upward angle. So that's how we did those lights. Let me show you the Thin X in the rear step. Now this is where we went with that Thin X in the rear step. And I will say that this truck has no radar sensors behind there. So it is a base model. It does not have the radar, maybe it's not a base model, I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't have the radar behind there. So check yours, and if you have the radar, you may need to shift the light a little to the left to avoid hitting that. The light's very low profile, and we've put many lights here in this area, but again, full disclosure, this truck does not have radar sensors behind there. So the other option you can go with is right in this location. If you like, you could put a TIR3 or an M-Power 3 or a Lin 6 like the front grille, but it would be facing backwards. It still works very well, bounces off of the lens in there, but this customer did request to face sideways, so that's what we gave him. So I'll close this video out showing you again those beautiful headlights. The white DRL does prefer a slightly slower flash. As you can see, some of the faster flashes, the headlight doesn't seem to pick it up because it has a ramp up in brightness. So a little bit slower pattern works nicer on the white on these GM and GMC trucks. And the other benefit is it's not key dependent. As you can see here, that white is flashing, truck is off, key is not active. So unlike the Fords, these will continue to work even when the truck is off. So that's a good benefit on the DRLs here on the newer GMCs. Now this is again a brand new, what they call refreshed GMC Sierra 2500. This is a 24. So if you have a truck just like this, we've got you covered. And if you don't see everything you need on the website, just use our contact us form and get in touch with us, and we will get you situated. We're building the website newer every day. So as you can stop in and see the new updates, let us know if you're missing anything. Thanks again for tuning into Wicked Warnings, your #1 source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, tricycles, and beautiful black 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HDs, just like this one. See you on the next video.